Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We're honored that you are here. It is Wednesday. It is the last Wednesday of July. Can we believe it? Summer is just going by so fast. So take every moment and be mindful, live in the present, and soak up this good energy, the season of summer that brings us. So welcome to Innovate BC. We're honored that you're here. My name is Michelle. I'm joining from Amiskwaciy-Waskahigan, Treaty 6 territory. Amiskwaciy-Waskahigan is Beaver Hills House and here in Edmonton. So enjoying life, enjoying the city life, but I think it's really important to get out onto the land, to connect with the Mother Earth, connect with creation. So we just want to take a moment and acknowledge the gift of this day, the gift of this moment. We acknowledge Creator that has given us a good path, has given us beauty, has given us so many gifts so that we can walk in a good way. So we just take a moment and we honor Creator. We honor the gifts of land. I'm sitting here in my condo and I can hear the birds outside. Those messengers, our relatives. We're thankful for the sacred waters and the plants. On Friday, I'm going harvesting. So all of that good medicine that has been given to us so we can walk in a good way. So we acknowledge the gifts from Creator. So wherever you are, I hope that you know that you're surrounded by goodness and Creator's beauty. We're part of Creator's world. So today we're here in this webinar with BC Innovate to learn, to take in, to build our own capacity so we could be better in what we're doing. We could make our circle, our businesses, our nations, or our organizations stronger. So we have our guest speaker today, Norma Child. We welcome you. Thank you for being here. I had the opportunity to hear this presentation a couple of weeks ago, and she's just bringing some good information, some good knowledge. The title of today's webinar is the Business Model Canvas. So you're going to learn how the BMC, a one-page visual plan, can be used to assess and streamline a new business idea or rework, because we got to sometimes rework things. A current business offering. So the tool helps us to visualize each element of your business operations and to see how everything connects. So looking forward to the knowledge that you're going to share this afternoon, Norma. So a little bit about our guest speaker. She has over 10 years of experience assisting and guiding entrepreneurs in all stages of entrepreneurship and being part of the Business Link. She assists Indigenous entrepreneurs in Alberta. Shout out to Alberta, yes. Norma is a member of the Blood Tribe, which is part of the Treaty 7 territory and Blackfoot Confederacy. She is a very enthusiastic individual and enjoys life's adventures. It's important to find that joy in life. Part of her spare time is spent on her Blackfoot Hills honey and crafts business, gardening, beekeeping, keeping chickens and goats. She mostly enjoys spending time with her husband and 3 children, as well as her mom, siblings, nieces, nephews, family, and friends who are dear to her. Norma, you just sound like a well-rounded individual, and we're honored that you're here. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to pass this virtual mic off to you. If there's any questions along the way, feel free to use that chat box, everyone. Definitely make note. There will be opportunity at the end of today's presentation for any comments or questions. We welcome you all here, and thank you so much, Norma. The mic is yours.
Thank you, Michelle, and thank you, everyone. Actually, it's Norma Wolfchild. I don't know how. Yeah, I missed my my last name. Yeah, it's Wolfchild. So again, thank you, everyone. And I'm just going to quickly add a link in the chat. And so this is what we'll be covering the majority of the session. I'm just going to add another link before we get started. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay. And how is that? Is that good? You can see my screen.
Yeah.
All right, so thanks again. So yes, we are going to be talking about the business model canvas, how you can utilize it for a business idea, your current business, even for an organization, they can utilize this awesome tool. And again, I'm coming to you from Treaty 7, and I'm pretty sure everyone has acknowledged where they're from. And again, in the slide, just acknowledge where you're from again. And so I'm going to be skipping over a few slides. So some of the slides cover our presentations, usually about close to 2 hours. So I've had to shorten it. So I'm going to quickly talk about the business link. So we are Alberta's small business hub. We are a nonprofit organization funded by Government of Canada and Government of Alberta. And we help Alberta businesses start and thrive. And we've been doing this since 1996. And we serve all aspiring and established small business owners in Alberta. And so we offer one-on-one advice, business coaching, and we connect our clients to other organizations that could help them achieve, whether it's looking for additional resources, funding, etc. We have live webinars, virtual workshops. We have some downloadable guides, on-demand videos, and networking events and opportunities. And we share all this information. We do have a weekly newsletter, Business Link newsletter. But we also have our Indigenous services. We do have our newsletter, which comes out, I think, one quarterly. Sometimes we'll do a special newsletter if anything comes up. And then we do have business support services that offers secondary market research. We have a market research coordinator that provides this information. We have an interactive business plan builder, and then anyone that has a business plan and they want a review, we do provide that as well. So our business advisory, we do offer one-on-one advice and information on everything from planning, financing, marketing, whatever information they want. A lot of our clients are looking for their clients that have an idea and want to know, how can I start my business? Or I've been doing this as a part-time business. What can I do? What are my next steps? Or I want to access funding. What do I need to know? So those are just some of the things that our clients are looking for. And then we do offer some coaching for small business owners. And like I mentioned earlier, we do have partners who offer other services that we don't, such as funding. And then there's specialized programs for women and youth. And so we partner with Alberta Women Entrepreneurs as well as Futurepreneur. So Alberta Women Entrepreneurs for women, and then the Futurepreneur for youth 18 to 39. So we have a good partnership with other organizations. And then we do referrals, like I mentioned. Yeah, so I mentioned live webinars, virtual workshops. If you go to our website, we do have programs that we have ongoing workshops every week, and you can find something new. Like now we have the Amazon, how to sell on Amazon. But yeah, visit our website, you can see all our topics. And then we have our online resources, our downloadable guides, startup financial marketing, educational videos, and we do have recorded webinars. And yes, I've mentioned the business support services, secondary market research, our interactive business plan builder, business plan reviews. So Indigenous services, so that's where I offer support to our Indigenous clients in Alberta, from startup to expansion, working with them one-on-one, providing them advice, guidance. We have some specialized guidebooks for our Indigenous clients. So we have one that is specifically, it's a 6-week, it's a, what do you call it? Our independent contractor guidebook. And then we have our Indigenous business planning workbook that we implemented to be a 6-part series on how to utilize that book. So we're currently in the process of redoing that workbook, but hopefully we can start offering that again early next year, so probably our 4th quarter. And then we provide information on financing and funding programs specifically for Indigenous entrepreneurs. And then we do go out to community whenever any community are looking for training. We work with them to see what would work best for them. So I work specifically in the Treaty 7 area. So I work with my community, which is Blood Tribe, and then I work with Beekeeping, First Nation. So just working with my communities to bring training, entrepreneur training. And then we have our immigrant entrepreneur program that is to newcomers into Canada. Similar services to our Indigenous program, but this is more specific to our immigrant entrepreneurs. And then we have our digital economy program, which is designed to help small businesses undergo digital transformation and adopt e-commerce practices. So this program, we do have Tamona Blackhorse, who works with our Indigenous clients. So anytime I have a client that's looking to maybe develop a website or learn, how social media can, improve, or how to use that for their business, I'll refer them to Tamona, who can support them in this. And all this is free to our Indigenous clients. And then the new program, you probably heard of it, the Canada Digital Adoption Program. So you can always visit the website in your area, see what they offer for that. But again, this is a program that provides up to $2,400 to buy new e-commerce tools. And again, there's criteria, so you can visit the website to see if you would be eligible. And then our Peerpreneur session. So this is a program for existing business owners that can apply to participate in this session. So it just connects other business owners to one another, and where they, meet, provide each other with guidance, support, maybe brainstorm solutions to any challenges, and it just helps them expand their network. And I think we're planning the next intake September, October. And then we have an online interactive business plan builder, a really great business plan builder, step by step. And what's great about it is if there's a particular section, someone that's using it, not really sure what goes in there, there's examples of businesses and how they could word that particular section. So that's a really great tool that we have. And then our support local Alberta directory. So businesses can go on here and register. So just a great tool there for anyone wishing to access or see what is available in Alberta and see what businesses have registered. And this campaign, the Indigenous Made campaign. So this helps Indigenous businesses showcase their products and services to the general public with the goal of increasing awareness. We want people to know about Indigenous businesses in Alberta, and this campaign, it's going to support that, and it's going to show support for all the incredible Indigenous entrepreneurs across Alberta, and just celebrate the different cultures and various contributions of our First Nations, Inuit, and Métis entrepreneurs in Alberta and even across Canada. So this campaign is for Indigenous entrepreneurs who want to share that they are Indigenous made or Indigenous owned. So entrepreneurs looking for unique ways to promote and market their business. Indigenous businesses that are looking for a new way to support other Indigenous-owned businesses. This is a really great campaign, because what you can do is you can go to our website, download this decal, and you could use it to display at your, if you have a storefront, or you could even use it to, if you're at a, vendor, a trade show, and then you can always use our Indigenous made to hashtag, and that's one way of utilizing or taking advantage of this campaign. So it's for consumers looking to support other Indigenous owned businesses, and as well as to, highlight their business. And any business can participate by downloading this, going to our website, and you can download this. So it's a really great campaign. So here it brings us to our topic. So what we're going to talk about, like I mentioned, is the business model canvas and how you can apply this to your business idea, or if you're going to make changes to your business. And then at the end, you'll be able to learn through a case study how this can, an example of how this business model canvas is used. So what is a business model? So a business model can best be described as how a business, a company, or even an organization, such as these ones on here, like BioWare, Booster Juice, Goodwill, how they create, deliver, and capture value. So a business model lets entrepreneurs experiment, test, and model different ways to structure their costs and revenue streams, really understand what their business model might look on, a single sheet. So what is the business model canvas? So the business model canvas is a strategy management tool for businesses to determine or to develop a high-level view of the strategy or plan of action and details required to enter the market. So it's a tool that's going to create a visual or graphic representation of the unique value and various strategic details required to increase the success of launching a new product or a new business. And it's a place to structure your thoughts, plans, and assumptions. And it can also be used to brainstorm new ideas, expand your product or service offerings, or even pivot from your original idea. And it could be used as a standalone tool, or it can be the base of your full business plan, but it really depends on your individual needs. So a lot of people may be able to finance their own business, but it's a really helpful tool. Like when you're going to start a business, you're not just going to start with not really understanding, okay, well, who are my customers? Who are my suppliers? Who's my competition? So this is a really great tool, just to structure your business, how you're going to bring in revenue, what does the cost structure look like, etc. So we'll delve that and we'll go into that a little further. So reasons why people may use this business model canvas: it's going to help you develop an entirely new business. Maybe you already have a business and you want to expand a product line or add a new product line. Great tool for strategic reorientation. And then it could be used if you have a business idea and you kind of have an idea, okay, well, I'm going to need to, access funding. So what I really need to know, is this idea feasible? So it could be used before you write, a full business plan, rather than spending hours writing a business plan and then having it fail, or, not really working out, or you don't really understand it. This tool is going to help you capture all the details to ensure that it's going to be viable. So basically, it's going to help you visually see your thoughts about your business idea. And then it's going to help you if you're facing a major challenge in your business and how maybe you're needing to pivot. So again, the business model, great tool to help you understand a business model in a straightforward, structured way. So this is what the business model looks like. This is what a blank canvas looks like. As you can see, there's 9 squares, little, some are rectangles, but there are 9 different building blocks or sections in this business model. So the business model was developed by Strategizer, which is a quick and easy to use tool that you can use to plan the fundamental components of your business. It's kind of like a one-page business plan, which, like I mentioned, you might want to do before you start writing a full-fledged business plan. And its purpose is to help you ensure you are looking at all the core aspects of your business and how all the parts fit appropriately together. So the ideal way you're going to use this is you're going to print it out. In the chat box, I put a link on where you can download it from. I can always send out a PDF file. So what you do is you print it out, and you're going to use sticky notes for each point. So we're going to be working through a case study, and then you're going to notice that there's different colors. There's different colors for some points. So you're going to use for each thought, you're going to use one sticky note. And how that works is, so as you're working through your customers segment and you've identified maybe 3 customer segments, and then after you realize, well, that's not really this customer, it's not really something that I'm going to be focusing on. So then you could just take out that post-it note of that segment, remove it. Well, if you write on it, then you have to start erasing it. So it's just easier to use post-it notes when you're working through this tool. So yeah. So again, strategizer.com, and the link is in the chat. And then as well as canvanizer.com, you can download the online version of that. So a really awesome tool. Okay, so what are the components of the business model? So we're going to start with the different components of the plan, and then some examples and explanations on what pieces go where. So I'm going to use an example case study through the rest of the presentation, and hopefully that'll help you understand how to use this canvas. So here is the case study. So this is just a hypothetical business we're going to be referencing throughout the presentation. It's going to help you understand how to apply the business model canvas to business idea or even to your current business. So Lisa Jones loves to travel and spend time with her dog, Leo. She has stayed at many different hotels in the past that accept pets, but never found a place where pets truly feel welcome. So she would like to open a full-fledged, full-service boutique hotel in the Rocky Mountains where pets are made to feel as special as their owners. I was never really a dog person. My son just loves dogs, so we've had a few dogs. And a few weeks ago, I went on a week-long trip, and we brought the dog, and yeah, so I have to look for hotels that cater to dogs as well. Thought I'd share that. So when the canvas, you'll notice that value proposition is in the middle of the canvas. I don't know why it just starts in the middle. At first, you're going to start with the value proposition pillar of the canvas. And this is the core of your business because it's describing your products and services and how you create value for your customers. So you want to ensure that when you're coming up with a business idea, what is the value that you're creating for your customer? There's another tool, the value proposition canvas tool, that helps you really understand that what is the problem that you're trying to solve. And that's another presentation that if anyone is interested in how to ensure that their product and services is solving their customers' problem. So anyway, this part describes the bundle of products and services that is going to create value for your specific customer segment. So the value proposition is the innovation, service, or feature intended to make a company or product attractive to their customers. It's going to be the reason why customers will choose one business over another. So it's sometimes referred to as your unique selling proposition. So some things to ask yourself include, okay, so what problem is my business solving through the product or service that you're offering? And what is the core value that your business provides? What do you want customers to remember about their interaction with your company? So this goes beyond making a sales gimmick or a marketing tagline. So a value proposition is a promise of value stated by your company that summarizes how the benefits of your product or service will be delivered, experienced, and acquired. Your value proposition can be based on qualitative, so such as the design of your product, the type of experience your customer would value, the type of materials used, and then quantitative could be measured by price, speed of service, it's larger, etc. So for Lisa's hotel, her value propositions are, so she determined that because when she's traveled, she noticed that there weren't any hotels that catered to animals. So her value proposition is she's going to be a high-end hotel catering to the needs of both people and pets. And she's also going to provide guided hikes and activities for active lifestyles, plus pools and a dog park. And then she's going to have conference facilities that include child, dog, daycare services, and then have unique pet-friendly furnishings. So now you know what you're going to do. Who are you going to do it for? Who are the customers you are serving? Customer segments define the groups of people or organizations that you aim to reach or serve. So it's really essential. This is an essential part of the model because it is the key to ensuring your product or service aligns with your consumer needs. So you have to really understand your customer. What is it that they're needing, or what is the problem that they're solving? So truly understanding your target market is going to allow you to provide more value effectively by knowing what they value, what they want, and what they need. So knowing who you are trying to sell to is very critical. So ensure you understand your customer, the ones who are going to use your product and service. And it's not just saying everyone that is thirsty is going to buy my lemonade, but focus on the ones who will most likely spend money on your product and service. So also understanding that if you have more than one target market, you will be able to specify messaging to each market. So you will be more tuned into each customer segment. Let's grab some water. So the customer segments building block, like I mentioned, defines the different groups of people, organizations, or businesses that a company or business is trying to reach and serve. So customers are very important to a business model because without them, your business isn't going to survive. So it's really important to understand who might your customer be, and really understanding that there may be different types of segments used to describe them. So they can be grouped into different segments with common needs, common behaviors, or other attributes. So it's important to know who your important customer is, and they could be in different customer segments, such as mass market. You're focusing on a large group of customers without really distinguishing between the different types of customers. And then you have your niche market. You're focusing on a very specific group of customers. And then you have your segmented market, which is you're focusing on multiple groups of customers who may have slightly different needs and problems. And then you have your diversified market, where you're focusing on multiple group of customers with very different needs and problems. And then you have your multi-sided market. You're focusing on groups of customers that need to interact with one another. And there's also like different demographics that you're going to use to categorize your customers, such as age, gender, income, maybe personal preferences, behavioral, such as how often do they purchase and use a product or service, and maybe they have brand loyalty. So some things to consider. And then where are they located, and what type of lifestyle does your customer have, and what do they value? So again, at Business Link, we have a market research coordinator that can help you find the data on, information about learning about your customer segment. And so we have our market research services. So if you need help with that, reach out to us and we can connect you to our market research coordinator. So which customer segments make sense for Lisa's hotel to target? So she is focused on wealthy travelers who love spoiling their cats and dogs, and then adventure seekers who travel with their dogs, because she has a high-end hotel. So of course, wealthy travelers, and then having the guided hikes and activities, she wants to focus on adventure seekers. And then again, making sure that she's incorporating, the animals into these different types of services. And then having conference attendees who want to bring their family and pets. So those are the three customer segments that Lisa's going to focus on. And then the channels. So the channels building block is going to describe each touch point or interaction a business will have with a customer. So it's going to include your marketing, your sales, and service delivery. So to deliver your value proposition. Channels have a number of functions or ways to communicate and deliver its value proposition with its customer segment, which includes raising awareness among customers about a company's products and services. And it's helping customers evaluate the company's value proposition. And it allows customers to purchase specific products and services. So delivering a value proposition to your customers, providing post-purchase customer support. A business can choose between reaching its customers through its own channel, so company owned, which are direct point of contact, such as having a storefront, retail store. So you're communicating directly with your customer or client, or it could be partner owned, which is an indirect interaction with your customers where you're utilizing distributors. But then again, you can always use both. And then something to keep in mind when you're choosing a partner channel is understanding the costs associated with it, because you may be able to utilize a company's current reach. So a company-owned channel may provide a higher margin, but it may be costly to implement. So using a partner channel, you may be able to utilize that company's current market reach, or whatever the benefits that they're providing. So you have to kind of weigh the costs, which would be more feasible. If you were to implement your own channel, then it'll be costly at the beginning, but in the long run, you'll be able to achieve your market reach. So again, focus on the customer experience and what would work best for your particular customer. So what channels would Lisa's Hotel deliver value to her clients? So for her, she's going to utilize online booking websites, and then utilizing third-party sites. So she's probably more catering to tourism. So if you're a tourism business, utilizing channels such as Indigenous Tourism Alberta, that would be like a partner site. She's going to utilize social media, and then she's going to have an in-person physical location where people can actually come in and see what she has available, and then from there determine if they're going to utilize her service. Then we have our customer relationships. So the customer relationships building block describes the type of relationship a company establishes with its specific customer segment. Excuse me. And the goal is, the ultimate goal is, getting the customer, keeping the customer, and then growing your customer base. And some questions that when you're thinking about the type of relationship you want to have with customers, with your target client base, your target market, is how do you want your customer or your client to feel, and what do you want their experience to be when they're searching and when they find your company? So what is the type of relationship does each customer segment expect us to establish? So think in terms of the atmosphere, maybe the customer service that you're going to provide, maybe the type of interaction. You want it to be an experience that a customer will want to come back and utilize your service, buy products from you, even make referrals to others. So always think about the type of experience that you're going to have, and then which ones have we established? What are preconceived notions about the industry? And then how costly are customer relationships? So how are they integrated with the rest of our business model? And then some categories, different types of customer relationships could include personal assistance. So companies interact with customers through employees who provide a human touch. Dedicated personal assistance. So you might have dedicated reps who are assigned a set of clients, and each rep is personally responsible for the entire experience the customer might have with the company. And then there's self-service, customers who prefer to use tools that the company provides to help themselves, such as, maybe websites, right? Automated services, you're using historical preferences to enable organizations to improve the customer's overall experience. Communities, you're allowing organizations to communicate with customers directly, and then allows customers to share their experience and come up with common challenges and solutions. So when you're filling out this part, so think of what is the experience, what is the relationship that customer would want, and then consider how you're going to, get your customer, how you're going to keep them, and how you're going to grow them. So what might be the relationship that Lisa would want for her customers? So for her hotel, of course, she wants to have, customers return, maybe even make referrals, maybe, she's going to want to have, reviews, positive reviews. A lot of people, when they travel, they like to look at, different sites and look at the different reviews. So she wants to ensure that her customers, the service is personalized for them. That just makes us feel good when we go to businesses and they take the time to show that you're a valued customer. Just like when, like I mentioned, our dog, we went to this one hotel, and she got a little welcome gift bag and a treat, and it was next time I travel through there, I'm going to make sure I stop by there. But I thought that was so neat. And she wants to make it easier for customers to book. So she has an automated online booking. And then, of course, whenever, if you are able to use this type of system for your business, where you have a loyalty program where you can, frequent customers have, can utilize, 10%, or just kind of have a loyalty program, because that will definitely ensure that you have returning customers. It's hot here. Okay, so revenue streams. The revenue streams building block represents the cash a company generates from its customer segment. So for a business to operate, you definitely need customers. If you don't have customers, then you're not going to be able to generate any revenue. So we need to understand and ensure that we are creating a product or service that a customer is willing to pay, and understand that we may have more than one customer segment, and each segment is going to generate one or more revenue streams. So a revenue stream can be defined as transactional, resulting from one-time customers, or it could be recurring revenues, which can result from ongoing payments, maybe like a subscription. So when people think about generating revenue for their company, they typically think only about the price of the product. So it's important to think about in terms of, okay, profit. What is my revenue and what are my expenses? You want to ensure that you're covering your costs first. And then you want to ensure that the value customers are willing to pay, and then how are customers paying for the products? And then what type of product are you selling? And then what type of market are you entering? So making money is critical for a business, because if all you're doing is just spending money on your business and you're not creating any profit, then you just have a hobby, right? You just have an expensive hobby. So some forms of revenue streams may include time dependent versus passive revenue. So human service versus online. Usage sale, the company charges the customer for the use of its product or service. An asset sale, the company sells the right of ownership over the good to the customer. Subscription fee, the company charges the customer for the regular and consistent use of its product or service. And then you have your licensing, lending, or renting fee. So the customer pays to get exclusive access to the product for a time-bound period. And then you have your licensing. The company charges for the use of its intellectual property, brokerage fees, companies or individuals that act as intermediaries between two parties. They charge a fee for their services. And then you have advertising, a company that charges for others to advertise their products using the company's mediums. So what might be some of Lisa's revenue streams? So she, of course, she's a hotel, so she's going to be bringing in revenue from her rooms, so room bookings. She might have merchandise, conference packages, upselling services, equipment rentals. She has probably a space to rent out to another entrepreneur for a pet cafe or a pet spa. So those are just some of her revenue streams. Key resources. So the key resources building block describes the most important assets that a business is going to have. And these are assets that is going to make the business model work. So these are the resources that allow an enterprise to create and offer a value proposition. So it's going to, these help you reach markets. These help you maintain relationships with your customer segments. These resources help you earn revenue. So this list you make should give you a clear idea of which resources are dispensable to create a final product or service for your customer, and of course, resulting in cost savings for your company. And there are 4 categories of key resources, which include physical, such as buildings, machines, vehicles, raw goods, etc. Financial, which is cash, credit, stock, etc. Human, people power, staff, positions, skills and experience, knowledge, etc. Then you have your intellectual, which is brand, proprietary knowledge, patents, partnerships, etc. So what are resources do your value proposition need to make it work? So what is your distribution channel going to look like? How are you going to maintain your customer relationships? What is the methods used for your revenue stream? So all these are going to require something in place for these to work, and those are the resources. So some of Lisa's key resources are, she has a hotel, so she needs pet-friendly hotel rooms. She needs staff who are trained. She's going to need inventory on hand, whether it's cleaning and all the other stuff to make, a hotel be able to do what it does. And she's going to need, funding. She needs financing to be able to, operate her business. And then key activities. So this is the key activities building block describes the most important things a company must do to make its business model work. So these are activities, whether it's day-to-day, all the activities that are key to producing your value proposition, your company's value proposition, or the most important processes that are needed to occur for a business model to be effective. So when you're filling out the key activities, some questions to ask include, what key activities do our value propositions require? Thinking in terms of logistics, manufacturing, maintenance, etc. And then what key activities do our channels require, such as advertising? How are you going to create awareness? What is the equipment that you're going to need, etc. And then what key activities do our customer relationships require, such as human resources, design, change, etc. So these are just activities that are needed for a business to be able to operate. So for Lisa's hotel, she's identified her key activities would be, she needs to maintain customer relations. She needs facility and inventory management. And of course, she needs to have a clean hotel. And then she's going to need to market and brand her business. So key partners. The key partners building block describes the network of suppliers and partners that is going to help make your business model work. So key partners are the human relationships that you have with other businesses, government or non-consumer entities that help your business model work. So partnerships ultimately strive to incorporate the characteristics of trust, quality, and commitment between two parties. So these include relationships with your suppliers, your manufacturers, business partners, and there are 4 types of partnerships, such as strategic alliances between non-competitors. So maybe you and another business collaborate together, which benefits both of you. Your competition, you and another business, companies who are directly competing will still work together to generate awareness for their shared industry. Or maybe you're thinking of joint ventures to develop new businesses. You're joining your company with another to create an entirely different entity, which may be more profitable for both of you than if you were to operate individually. And then thinking about buyer-supplier relationships. You want to ensure you're building reliable relationships with your suppliers, or if you're selling to businesses, you're maintaining that relationship. So creating partnerships can be achieved by understanding, okay, what is the motivating factor? Business is not going to, you're not going to own all the resources, and you're not going to perform all the activities by yourself in the business. So think of all the activities that your resources can do and what you can do. And anything that you can't do, then you have to acquire partners. So anything that you can't do on your own, or you don't have the resources for, then you can think of who might be my key partners. So finding partners who can perform and provide resources will help you to save money and maybe reduce risk and uncertainty. So for Lisa's hotel, her key partners would be tourism associations and centers, freelance providers. She's going to need dog walkers, pet groomers. She's going to utilize social media influencers, conference organizers, local businesses, and then vendors. And then cost structure. So this is the final building block of the business model canvas. So this describes all the costs that a business is going to incur to operate their business model. This building block defines all the costs, all the expenses that your business will incur while operating your business. So this is an important step because it's going to help your team decide to, whether to move ahead, pivot, or maybe that's not such a good idea. So there are two types of cost structures. Value driven, you're creating more value in the product itself. Cost driven, you're minimizing the costs of the product or service as much as possible. And then some of the common forms of costs include your startup costs. So these are costs that are only incurred before you actually open your business. And then you have your fixed costs. These are costs that remain the same over a period of time, such as rent, insurance. And then you have your variable costs. So these costs vary according to how much you make. So the more you sell a particular product, you're going to have to spend more on inventory. And if the less you sell, then the less inventory you have to buy. So variable costs. So understanding your cost structure will help you determine the most important costs that are key to making your business model work. So for Lisa's hotel, these are her cost structure. So she needs to spend money on staff. She needs to have an advertising expense. She needs to buy supplies, equipment. She needs to renovate and furnish her rooms. She needs to hire subcontractors, taxes, and then, lease facility costs. So this is a complete business model canvas for Lisa Jones Pet Hotel, and how you can utilize this tool to structure your thoughts and build your business model. So just a great example how this business model canvas works when you're working through it with a new idea or an existing business. Maybe you want to add a new product line, new service to see if it makes sense or maybe not. Because really need to really understand all these sections and how it applies to your business model. So when you're working on your business model, there are some things to keep in mind. Revisit it often because things change. It's not, your business, you're not always going to have the same customers. Customers, they change, tastes change, things change. So always revisit it, especially, with COVID, a lot of people had to pivot, right? So I think most, this would have been a great tool. And then reflect and adjust accordingly based on if you're ready to grow your business, looking at the economy, maybe there's a health crisis, like I said, the pandemic, looking at the environment. So consider writing a business plan based on your business model canvas. So once you've done your business model canvas, you've determined this is an idea that, now you could further, maybe you want to access funding, then you could start working on your business plan. And again, there's another tool, the value proposition tool, which is a really great tool because it evaluates the fit between the value you create and your customers' needs and expectations. Basically, a tool to help you determine that the product and service solves the customer's problem. And yeah, so next steps, I've sent you a copy of the business model canvas. I've sent you the link. And if you want to work through this individually, you can always reach out to me. And again, strategizer.com has some really great videos. And, you can always reach out to us at Business Link. And here is my contact information, Norma at Business Link. And thank you.
Wow. So a round of applause for Norma. She hooked us up with some really good information. So thank you, Norma. Thank you for being with us in the midst of a very heavy week. So thank you so much for being here. I was, as you were talking about Lisa's hotel, like my imagination was running wild. I was just trying to visualize this place, and I just couldn't help but to see nothing but extravagance. And I'm all about the dogs and those pets. And so I think that that's just such a great example. I loved it. Okay, we have perhaps time for one question as I look at my watch. Does anyone have any questions or comments? We welcome you to unmute yourself, join this conversation.
I have one question.
Yeah, go for it, Angela.
Okay, sorry. To introduce myself, my name is Angela Sanderson. I'm from James Smith Cree Nation. And my business idea is owning a bridal boutique, but specifically for Native girls. And my question is, how much are the business plan reviews? And do you apply for the 6-week program? Is there a cost? Like how much?
So Business Link, unfortunately, only our clients are Indigenous entrepreneurs in Alberta.
Okay.
Reach out to me. I'm always available. It doesn't hurt to reach out to me. Yeah.
I'm from Saskatchewan, but I live in Alberta.
Oh yeah, no, we're free. We're free to Indigenous Albertans, entrepreneurs in Alberta. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. And
That's
the program, so right now we're in the midst of some leadership changes just in our in Indigenous services. So we're hoping to start some training September. We'll be planning that in next week or so. So if you want to sign up for our newsletter, then definitely you'll know when our next training session is going to take place.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, and then reach out to me if we have like other information that can help you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. I think that's an excellent resource, Angela, and an excellent business idea. I love it. Not too many people have tapped into that field, so I think that that's really great. So go you. This presentation also will be sent to you, I believe, Elsie, if that's correct. And then also Norma put up there, is it in the chat box? Yeah, so she had put some links that you can tap into. So the work that she does at the Business Link is really, really important. And it sounds like it's all free. And so, tap into this resource like education, say even if you've been around the field for a long time, getting that fresh perspective, tapping into these resources is really, really helpful. So encourage you all. I mean, I'm one who's going to look into this as well. So thank you, Norma, for encouraging us, inspiring us, and just showing us there's some really good resources out there that we can tap into and just start those conversations, get that ball rolling, take that first step. So thank you all for joining us on this Wednesday, the last Wednesday in July. Next time we'll see you in August. So be well. I hope, as this week is heavy, this week sits heavy for some of us. I can't speak for all of us, but for some of us, it sits heavy. So be kind to yourself. Go tap into those self-care practices. Be with Mother Earth, be with family or community. Find that good energy because it's all around. So be well, take care, and walk in a good way, and you'll find that peace. So take care, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.